Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the 8th video of the Tableau Say Hello series. In this video, we will be going through the marks card in Tableau Desktop. The marks card is a key element for visual analysis in Tableau. As we drag fields to different properties in the marks card, we can add both context and detail to the marks in the view. So the first question is, where is the marks card located in Tableau? By default, the marks card is located in between the sidebar and the view area. So, what is the marks card in Tableau? In Tableau, the marks card allows us to refine the visualization by adding details to the individual marks in a view. It's the place where we can control the appearance and interaction of those marks. There are two main sections in the marks card. The first is the marks type selection drop down. Second is the property buckets that are organized into two rows. So, how many properties are present in the marks card? When the marks card drop down menu is set to automatic, bar, area, square, circle, text, map, or density, the marks card will have only 5 properties, that is, the color, size, and text in the first row, and detail and tooltip in the second row. A sixth property will be added to the marks card in the second row when we change the mark type from the drop down list. For a line mark type, a path property will be added. This path property can be used to change the line type, that is, to either linear, step, or jump. For a shape mark type, we see that a shape property has been added. This shape is used to apply different shapes to the data. For a pie mark type, an angle property will be added. Angle here determines the angular measure of the pie wedges. For a polygon mark type 2, a path type property will be added. Path here specifies the drawing order of the lines that constitute each polygon. So, when does the text property change to the label property in the marks card? By default, when we open a worksheet in Tableau, the third property in the first row of the marks card is text. It is observed that the marks type is automatic. Let us drag and drop subcategory to the row shelf. We still observe that the third property in the first row is text. Let us drag and drop the region onto the column shelf. Finally, let us drag and drop the sales measure onto the text of marks card. Text is the default mark type for text table. Let us drag and drop the sales from text of marks card to the column shelf. Now we observe that the third property in the first row of the marks card is label. Since the mark type has changed from automatic to bar, the automatic previously was the text, it has changed to bar. Now, let us go through the mark type selection process. We can change the type of marks displayed in the view to fit the analysis that we are currently performing. For example, we can change the marks from lines to bars and vice versa. To change the mark type on the marks card, click the mark type drop down and select an option from the list. We observe that there are many options like the bar, line, area, square, etc. When the marks drop down menu is set to automatic, Tableau automatically selects the best mark type for the data view. The mark type that is automatically selected is determined by the inner fields on the rows and the column shelf. The icon in the marks card drop down menu indicates the type of mark that was automatically selected. In case the inner field on rows or column shelf is a date dimension, the line mark is selected as the automatic mark. When the inner field is a discrete dimension, for example region, we see that the bar mark is selected as the automatic mark. Next, let us go through the first property in the second row of the marks card, that is the detail. We can add fields to the detail card to control the granularity of the visualization. When we drop a dimension on detail of the marks card, the marks in a data view are separated according to the members of that dimension. Consider that we have a scatter plot of sales and profit. Currently, the view has only one mark as both sales and profit are aggregated, and the intersection of these two aggregated values forms the single mark. This can be confirmed by checking the number of marks in the bottom left side of the status bar. It currently shows there is only one mark in the view. Let us drag and drop the customer name onto detail of marks card. Now we observe that the view is separated by the members of the customer name. We observe that there are 800 marks in the view. Next, let us go through the first property in the first row of the marks card, that is the color. We can color marks by a field or choose a single color for all the marks. Let us click on color of marks card and then choose a different color, example orange. Now we observe that all marks in the view are having the orange color. When we use a field on color, the field type will determine the color palette that is displayed. Let us drag and drop the sales measure on color of marks card. We observe that a sequential color palette is displayed for sales with a continuous range of colors. Each mark in the view is colored based on the sales value. Let us drag and drop the profit measure on color. Now we observe that diverging color palette is displayed for profit as it displays both negative and positive values. Let us drag and drop region on color of marks card. We observe that a categorical color palette is assigned and each member of a region is assigned a distinct color. In addition to just adding color to the marks, we can configure additional color settings, example the opacity and border. Let us click on color of marks card. We can modify the opacity of marks by simply moving the slider below opacity. We can change the position of slider towards the left. We observe that the marks become more transparent. This is very useful in dense scatter plots or when there is a lot of data overlapping. By default, Tableau displays all marks without a border. We can turn on mark borders for all mark types except text, line, and shape. So on the border control drop down, we can select a specific border color. Borders can be useful for visually separating closely spaced marks. When borders are turned on, marks are easier to distinguish in areas where they are tightly clustered. Next, let us go through the second property in the first row of the marks card, that is the size. The size section within the marks card allows us to adjust the size of the marks in the view. We can do a manual adjustment of size using the slider. On the marks card, click size and then move the slider to the left or right. It is observed that the size slider makes the marks bigger or smaller. The size of the data view is not modified when we change marks using the size slider. We can size the marks based on a field. Although we can use both dimensions and measures on size, it is preferred to make use of measures to add variance to the marks in a view. Let us drag and drop the quantity measure on size of marks card. The size of the marks are adjusted based on the quantity value. Larger values will correspond to larger marks and smaller values correspond to smaller marks. Let us next go through the third property in the first row of the marks card, that is the label. We can add labels to the marks in a view. To show mark labels in a view, we can do one of the following. Either we can select the show marks label on label of marks card, or we can drag a field to the label on the marks card. Let us click on the label of marks card and select the show mark labels. It is observed that all marks in the view are now having labels. This is the default option. However, we have various options under the marks to label section, such as selected, min max, and highlighted. Next, let us go through the second property in the second row of the marks card, that is the tooltip. Tooltips are details that appear when we hover over one or more marks in the view. We can customize the information that is displayed in the tooltip. Example, combining static and dynamic text. In this case, let us drag and drop discount on tooltip of marks card. Let us hover over a mark in the view. We observe that now the discount value is displayed in the tooltip pop-up. Click Tooltip on marks card to open the Edit Tooltip dialog box. If required, there are various tooltip formatting options. In addition, there are certain configuration options like show tooltips, include command buttons, and allow selection by category. Next, let us go through the shape property of the marks card. As already discussed, this property appears only when we select the marks type as shape. When we place a dimension on the shape of marks card, the Tableau separates the marks according to the members in the dimension and assigns a unique shape to each member. Let us first click the drop down for marks card type selection and select shape. Next, let us drag and drop segment from the data pane onto the shape of marks card. In the view, the marks are separated into different shapes according to the members of the segment dimension. Each shape reflects the segment's contribution to profit and sales. Next, let us go through the path property of the marks card. As already discussed, this property appears only when we select the marks type as either line or polygon. In this case, we will go through an example which has the marks type as line. Consider that we have a sales by month view. Let us first change the marks type from automatic to line. Click the path property in the marks card to change the line type. The default line type is linear, which is ideally suited for data that remains constant for long periods of time. We can change it to step for displaying the magnitude of change. We can also change it to jump for displaying the duration of change between data points. Lastly, let us go through the angle property of the marks card. As already discussed, this property appears only when we select the marks type as pie. Consider that we have a sales by region view. In this example, the angle provides the percentage of sales for each region when compared to the total sales. Pre-attentive attributes are generally the best ways to present data because we can see these patterns without thinking or processing. In fact, these attributes evolved in humans as ways to quickly assess a situation, discern a pattern, or choose whether to react. The final scatter plot that we have arrived at is a good example to show the power of pre-attentive attributes using the marks card. In this example, we make use of five important pre-attentive attributes, that is length, width, color, shape, and size. Profit here is used for length or the X position. Sales here is used for the width or the Y position. Region is used for color. Segment is used for shape. Quantity is used for size. Hence, in this scatter plot, we have encoded the customer data in five different ways. This completes the video on the marks card. If you have found this video useful, please like the video and subscribe to my channel for the latest updates. I will meet you in my next video. Until then, take care and bye.